Hi, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today's class is about always being prepared to work without applause. You're here for yourself, no one else. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to begin today's practice coming into a nice tall stand at the bottom end of our mat with a little bit of runway to play in front. Stand up nice and tall, rooting through your feet, lengthening through the line of your body. Let's take it into 3 roll downs. Big breath into prep. On an exhale, you're going to nod your chin to your chest, hollow out your belly, round out your back, and start to peel down over an imaginary barrel. Take a recovery inhale and then peel back up over the barrel to restack and realign. Starting to find your rhythm, looking for that little contraction in the belly to peel you down. And then looking to undo that contraction with control as you restack and realign. Working with your breath. We're going to find one more roll down to walk our way out into a plank line. Bending the knees if you need to find your plank. Hold the plank still or begin to work, stepping up the legs into a bear and back, alternating between that step up and that step back. End in the bear and then start to play between bear and down dog. End in the bear, stay or play. Start to drop down onto the forearms and then step back up. Holding the knees off the floor throughout. End in the bear and then start to step back into your plank and back up to bear, alternating between stepping up and stepping back. End in the plank line, find your way to a down dog. Walk your hands back towards your legs, roll it up. Let's repeat. Big breath in. 3 controlled roll down patterns, giving the arms a little bit of a rest. Then when you're ready to play, use your next roll down to find your way into a plank line. Hold steady or begin to play with your bear step ups. And in the bear, start to alternate between bear and down dog. And in the bear, start to drop down onto the forearms and then walk your way back up. Find your way from here back into a plank and then start to step up into the bear and back to your plank. And in your plank, Translate your plank into a down dog. Walk your hands back towards your legs. Roll it up. Restep, realign, and then straight into some roll downs. Use your next roll down to find your way into your plank. When you're ready, begin your bear step ups. End in the bear, then start to play with your bear and a down dog. And in your bear, start to drop down on the forearms and then walk back up. Keep belly to spine throughout. Find your way back into the plank line and then start to step up and back. End in your plank. Find your way into a down dog stretch. Then walk back, hands to legs. Roll it up. And once you're standing up nice and tall, find a focal point on the floor or the wall in front of you and start to bring your right knee up. Press and resist with both hands and then tap out to the mat. Keep lifting to press and tapping out, looking for balance, looking for control. End in the press, hold it. Then release down, give the legs a little shake out. Let's rinse and repeat on the second side. When you're ready, start to find your knee up, press, and your tap. End in the press, hold it. Release back down, give the legs a little shake up. Let's roll down this time into a down dog, not a plank. Big breath in. When you're ready, roll it down. Short walk into your down dog. Then look towards your legs and start a little oblique reach through, tapping opposite hand to ankle or opposite hand to leg. Then walk your way back up, roll it up, restack, realign. When you're ready, start to find your knee up, press, and your tap. Hold your last one. Press, resist, release, pedal it out. Let's rinse and repeat on the second side. End in the press, hold it, release. We're going to roll it down back into our down dog. Big breath in. On an exhale, roll it down, short walk into down dog. This time we're going to keep the arms steady and we're going to work the legs. So you're going to think of bending one knee, reaching across the midline towards the opposite elbow, and we're going to fire up through those obliques, keeping belly to spine throughout. Last one. Find your way from here into a tall kneeling frame on the mat. Release the bridges of your feet. Find a small 12 o'clock tilt through the pelvis. Lengthen the lower back. Softly engage the abs. Float your arms overhead and frame your head holding on to your wrists or your forearms. Big breath in to make one elbow heavy and tug on the opposite wrist or forearm. Inhale to come back. Exhale to do the same on the second side. We're going to repeat for roughly 5 sets. Then relax to a 4-point kneeling position on the mat. Stabilize through the line of the trunk. We'll play left leg first. You are going to hover your knee just off the floor, then slide the leg out and up to table and paint your way back with your toes to your start position. So that knee is skimming the floor every time it comes back. And it stops when it's alongside its right partner. It doesn't feed through the midline. We're going to end in the bend. We're going to keep the bend and we're going to use our glute to do a soft donkey kick up and float it back down. So you're keeping the bend in the knee and you're firing through the glutes. Find your way from here back into 4-point kneeling. Big breath in to float the left arm up to the sky. On an exhale, we're going to thread right. Coming to rest on the left ear. And then starting to slide the right arm forward to the front end of the mat so that your arms are in a soft L-like frame. And you're reaching as long as you can through both sets of hands. Hips are stacked comfortably over your knees so you're not leaning the weight into your shoulders, and you're pulling your belly button into center. Lead your way from here back into 4-point kneeling, and then find your way to your tall kneel to frame your head and hold on to your forearms, finding that gentle elbow drop on one side and a little tug on the opposite. Keep a small 12 o'clock tilt through your pelvis. Find your way from here back into 4-point kneeling. We're going to play right. Stabilize through the trunk. We're going to slide the right leg out and up to table. And then we're going to paint our way back to a hovering knee position on the right. Keeping our trunk as stable as we can throughout. Coming back to your hovering knee position, we're going to use the glute to donkey kick up and float back. From here, we're going to find our way into a thread. Big breath in, you're going to float the right arm up. When you're ready, you're going to slide or thread it through, coming to rest on your right ear with your hips stacked over your knees. And then begin to slide the left arm forward. Find that little L, reach and stretch through both arms. Keep your belly button softly pulled into center. Bleed your way from here back into 4-point kneeling. We're going to find our way onto the belly. Think of working a modified push-up. So bend through the elbows to swoop down onto the belly. We're going to start to find some cobra play. Let's place the palms on the mat with our fingertips just in front of our shoulder line and relax your forehead to the mat. When you're ready, you're going to peel up into a small cobra chest lift, let's say with 3, 2, or 1 rib still on the mat. Then peel back down to allow your forehead to kiss the mat, and as soon as it does, you're going to bend your knees and you're going to flick your heels towards your bum and start to rinse and repeat. 1 cobra, 1 bum flick. As the spine begins to nibble up, you can start to look for more extension in your cobra. Last one. We're going to find our way from here into child pose, keeping a soft parallel leg line or opening up the knees a little wider. Take a little stretch here, pressing into your palms and making your bum bones heavy. Then bringing your wrists and your palms off the mat, coming onto the tips of your fingers and hovering your head just off the mat. We're going to take an off-center creep to one side. And then press down into your palms and hold the stretch once you've creeped as far as your back wants to creep. Back onto the tips of your fingers to find your way back to the top end of the mat. Take a long stretch here. Then release the tension in your arms for a moment. Back to extension on the tips of your fingers to creep off center to the second side. Find your creep line and then press down into the palms and paws, breathing into the open side of your ribs. Back onto the tips of your fingers to walk your way back to center. Start to claw into your fingertips and drag your way back onto the belly. This time setting up the hands a little bit lower towards the bottom end of the ribs. We're coming into a full swan articulation. So when you're ready, you're going to gently begin to peel up into the chest lift, coming all the way up till you're on the heels of your hands and your kneecaps. Then back down, and as soon as your forehead kisses the mat, double leg lift. And start to play between your swan and your double leg lift. Last one. From here, find your way back into child pose. Pressing back bum to heel, long stretch through the line of your arms. Then release the stretch for a moment, taking all tension off the arms and the hands. Back into extension, but high up on the fingertips to creep off center to one side. Find your maximum creep range and then press down into the palms and breathe for a few into the open side of your ribs. Back onto the tips of your fingers to walk your way back to the center. Take a moment to press into your palms and make your bum bones nice and heavy. Then relax the arms. Back onto the tips of your fingers. Let's find an off-center creep to the second side. Pressing down into the palms once you've found your maximum creep. Taking a moment to just breathe into the open side of your ribs. Onto the tips of the fingers to walk your way back to the top end of the mat. Then dragging your weight forward and flipping over onto the side of the body. We are going to either assume a high to the mat position on the elbow and the forearm, or you can assume a lower position with a small prop, resting your head in your hands. We're going to extend the bottom leg with a soft but active brace into the foot, and we're going to step up the top leg, holding from the front or from the back to keep that foot anchored. We're going to lift and toe and back down. So you're starting with a braced foot. As you lift, you give me a soft reach and stretch through the line of your ankle and your foot. We're going to end in the lift and the soft toe reach. You're going to give me a leg pull behind your hip line and back. After your last set, bend the knee of your extended leg and start to walk up onto your hands, giving me a staggered position and looking away from your crossed legs to the top end of your mat. Pause here for a moment. And then think about how you can use the cross of your legs to come into a little half-lord spinal twist. Maybe taking the leg that's furthest from you and walking it slightly away from your bum line, walking up, taking a seat on your floating bum bone, twisting towards your top leg, grabbing opposite hand to knee, and trying to anchor through both bum bones as best you can. Then untwist your trunk, swoop the legs to the opposite end of the mat, and find your way down onto the elbow, picking the elbow line that works for you. Extend the bottom leg, give a brace into the foot, and then step up the top leg and anchor it. When you're ready, start to lift and toe, and then come down in a brace line. We're going to end in the lift with the toe reach, and we're going to leg pull behind the hip line. Then bend your extended leg. Start to walk up on the hands, staggering them and looking towards the back end of the mat. So you're looking away from your crossed legs. Then think of taking the leg that's furthest from you and sliding it slightly away from your body line so that you've got enough room to walk up. Find a seat on your bottom. Rotate to grab your top knee and twist your trunk towards it. From here, we're going to find our way onto the back. We are coming into a single leg stretch. We're going to begin in neutral pelvis, neutral spine. You're going to take a big breath in to prep. On an exhale, you're going to tilt your pelvis to 12. You're going to give me a full imprint. You're going to bring your legs into table. You're going to add a chest lift, and you're going to softly cup your right knee while extending your left leg. Hold the deep scoop and start to give me a single leg stretch. Find your way back down to the mat. Close your eyes, take your focus inward for a Kegel exercise. You're not going to see anything, you need to feel this one. Keeping your back line on the mat, not lifting your bum off the mat, and trying to keep your glutes soft. You're going to focus on trying to connect and contract and squeeze your deep internal pelvic floor muscles. Start with a totally relaxed pelvic floor, and then give me a small squeeze to level 1, just to begin engaging there. Look for level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. Give me the tightest internal squeeze that you can manage. Make sure it's not your glutes, but your pelvic floor muscles that you're contracting. Hold that tight squeeze. Then start to relax from level 5 to level 4, 3, 2, 1. Totally relax that pelvic floor and open your eyes. Big breath in, we're coming into a double leg stretch. Find your tilt and imprint. Pull both legs into table. Add a chest lift, scoop up to hold on to both knees. From your tuck, you're going to open up arms and legs into a little V and then tuck back in. Stay here or swivel the arms around to find your tuck, looking for a little bit more work. Last one. Back to some Kegel work. Close your eyes. Take your focus inward once you're grounded. Keep your back and your bum line on the mat. Try to keep your glutes soft and focus internally. Squeeze to level 1. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold for 10 at level 5. Then give me little pulsing releases playing between level 5 and level 4. Back to level 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Totally relax your pelvic floor and open your eyes. Keep your arms relaxed at your side or tuck them underneath your bottom to support your lower back. You're going to float your legs to the 99. We're going to find a scissor drop pattern. Your scissor could be a quarter, a half, or just shy of the floor. And then switch legs. Stay here with head and shoulders on the mat, or scoop up, maybe palms on the mat, or maybe reaching for your incoming leg and giving it a little hug towards your nose. Find your way onto the back for your Kegels. Close your eyes. Take your focus inward. Backline and bum on the mat. Glutes as soft as you can. Focus internally. Squeeze to level 1. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold at level 5 for a count of 10. Then release all the way from 5 to 1 and back to 5 in a longer pulse. End at 5. Release all the way to 1 and then all the way to 0. Flutter open your eyes. We're coming into a double leg drop or a double straight leg stretch. Arms at your side or hands underneath your bottom. You're going to float both legs to the 90 position. You're going to use the legs as one unit, finding a drop zone, either a quarter, half, or just shy of the floor, and then pull all the way back to start. Stay here with head and shoulders on the mat, or scoop up into a chest lift, pressing into your palms, or float the arms and hug the legs softly in towards your nose every time you lift. Then back to your Kegel setup, closing your eyes, taking your focus inward. But this time, we are going to play from a bridge line. So from your grounded position on the mat, begin to articulate up into a bridge line, disconnecting your bum and your back line from the mat and setting yourself up in a bridge. Try to look for a softness in the glutes. Focus on your pelvic floor and squeeze to level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it 5 or 10. Then start to retrace your path back from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1, and then melt back down to the mat, reconnecting your back line with care. Take a recovery breath or 2 as you open your eyes to tuck your hands behind your head, preparing for a little crisscross pattern. Start in neutral. Find your tilt and your imprint and bleed up into a chest lift. Lock that height in with the shoulders off the mat and draw your legs softly into table. Extend right, rotate left, and then switch. Keeping that scoop. Lead your way back down to the mat for a working bridge line. Close your eyes. Take your focus inward. When you're ready, articulate up into your bridge. Once you've found your bridge line, look for softness in the glutes and focus on your pelvic floor. Let's work our way up from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. Hold. Then start to pulse between level 5 and level 4. End at level 5, hold it. Bleed all the way down to 1, and then articulate back down. Reconnecting your back line to the mat, opening your eyes to tuck your hands behind your head. We're coming back into that crisscross pattern, but this time instead of working with one leg extended, we're going to keep both legs bent, and instead of stretching, we're going to find our way into a toe tap. Begin in neutral, big breath into breath. On an exhale, tilt and imprint. Lead up into your chest lift, lock it in, and then draw the legs into table. Hinging from the hip, you're going to tap your right big toe halfway or all the way to the mat, and then you're going to rotate towards your left leg and start to find an alternating pattern. Find your way back down to the mat. Take recovery. We're coming into a working bridge line. This time we are going to not so much focus on the Kegels, but we're going to focus glutes. All right. So you're going to begin in neutral. When you're ready, you're going to find your articulation up into the bridge line, disconnecting from the mat with control to bring your bum, your back line off the mat. Then at the height of your bridge, squeeze your glutes and release. End in a glute squeeze, and then add a level 5 Kegel and hold. Release your Kegel, release your glutes, melt back down to the mat. One line of the ribs at a time, one nodule of the spine at a time. Extend your legs along the mat. Keep a neutral spine, but make that belly button nice and heavy. Let's start to hug the right knee in towards the nose. Then release the squeeze to extend the right leg up to the sky, cupping around or behind the leg. Then bend the knee, reach opposite hand to knee, open up your right arm, maybe T-framing it, and pull the knee across the midline as you rotate onto the left hip. Onto the back again to repeat, knee hug, leg extension, knee bend to twist. We're going to rinse and repeat maybe 5 to 6 times. And every time we pull that knee across the midline, we're looking to find more twist through the spine and progressively bring that knee closer to the floor so that you're working into a spinal twist on the last movement pattern. Find your rhythm, remembering to look away from your knee pull. Holding your last twist. Then rolling onto your back. We're going to trace 2 big lazy circles with the knees away from each other and back. Keep moving in the same direction for roughly 5 traces, and then begin to move in the opposite direction. Find your way back into extension on the mat. Belly button heavy, spine in neutral. Hug the left knee in towards the chest. Then release the squeeze, then left toes to sky. Bend the knee to reach opposite hand to knee. Pull the knee across the midline, anchoring on the left side and looking away from your knee pull. Rinse and repeat for roughly 5 to 6 turns. Then we're going to hold the last one. Then roll onto your back, bringing both knees together to trace big, lazy circles with both knees in one direction, working a beautiful, delicious little massage into the lower back. 5 big sweeps in one direction, and then 5 in the opposite direction. One long supine stretch, reaching through your toes, reaching through your fingertips. Big breath in. Tuck into a tight little ball, rock up into a seat. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Nod your chin to your chest. This is where we're going to end today without applause. Thank you so much for coming to play. Till next time, keep it light.